Every time I'm doing something that's not essential, I'm giving up on something that is essential. Greg McKeown, my friends, each and every day we track these charts. This is essential, 10 to 15 minutes to spend it every single day. It's not 4 hours on a Sunday. It's not 1 hour 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It is 15 minutes each and every day tracking your favorite stocks, ETFs, practice trading, doing all that you need to do on a daily basis to learn the nuances of the market. Do not worry about how long it takes, because once you master the charts, you'll make up for all the time you ever spent. Let's jump into the S&P 500. I'll tell you, this is a day where everything is pulling back. Not surprising with what's going on around the world. As we look at the S&P 500, it is pulling back 0.77%. Now, starting the week off with a green candle. These are Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. That's why it's green, because look at all the prior up moves on the half-day chart, 2-day chart, and even the weekly chart last week with a green up candle. It is slowing down, though. It has dropped over. You can see down in the morning, further down in the afternoon. It's above the weekly trend line, so one down day doesn't mean everything has stopped on the S&P. We are starting off with a green candle. We'll see how the week continues to progress. Those of you who follow and are Patreon members, of course, everybody else can get it the day after, but you get the day before. You get to see what our trade execution summary grid and our 5-day plus analysis and forecast show you. And of course, you can see those percentage and the back test accuracies. Now, as we look at how this week is starting with the S&P 500, we do have a green candle. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way this whole week. If the market moves decidedly negative, we may see things drop over. We did have average volume last week. It is an interim high with a very short interim after a down move and a doji. But if we had things roll over into, of course, a red spinning top with average or above average volume by the end of the week, that might portend a downturn, but could just as likely move up, continue to move up. So we'll wait, we'll watch, we'll see. Now, the NASDAQ is different. It's down 1.90%. And you can see where we've had 2 dojis over the last 4 weeks. And you can see, well, this be coming into the 4th week. First doji on the 22nd, the week beginning 22nd of June. Second on the week beginning the 6th of July. And a red spinning top in between on the week beginning the 29th of June. Things have slowly been ticking down for the day after trying to push up, and did push up and through a very almost flat weekly trend line on Thursday and Friday of last week, and then dropping over hard on Monday. So again, hard to see a whole lot here with dojis and spinning tops, but the week starting off decidedly negative. We'll see if indeed it does continue. If you put a gun to my head and said I had to put something in the market, I would say, okay, I'm feeling it for bearishness, but just because we have some weak signals doesn't tell us overall that things are going to be moving down hard. That is different from 20-year U.S. government bonds. You can see how things peaked all the way back in late June and then slid sideways into the end of June, and then starting on, what is that? On June the 30th, Tuesday, we started having some strong red down candles, slid sideways a little bit, starting on Wednesday the 8th of July, and then as this week starts, dropping back off again. The low last week was 84.06. The low this week, 83.93. We've hit a lower low already. And of course, we are decidedly bearish on 20-year U.S. government bonds as they continue to move down. Now, what do we see going on with gold? Well, gold is sort of held right around this area. You can see this is an area where gold hit a low all the way back on the week beginning the 27th of October and then the 3rd of November of last year. And gold has moved down to that. It's been hanging around near there. Well, and it dropped down, of course, to that same spot back on the 22nd of June. And it's been near there since then. It's moved up some, it's moved down and up some, and then back down. If indeed we pierce strongly this support level, then of course we would be looking at going in hard on continued down moves in gold, but it's been going down, hasn't it, for weeks and weeks and weeks. Now, what we've been hoping for is that, it may bounce off of this. We saw it try to get a little steam and then roll back down, but trying to get a little steam and not seeing it transmit in, of course, all three time frames, the last being, of course, the weekly time frame, we don't go long. So still short, still hanging in there. Those of you who didn't want to go short gold but have just been sitting waiting on when to buy again, that hadn't happened yet. Gold was down strong, 2.62%. Lastly, we'll take a look at Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? Good question. It pushed through and I will show you this. There. As I move up some on the weekly chart, you can see we've got another spot that Bitcoin can move down to after it pierces this one. It has, this is a level that we found, a low that Bitcoin reached back on the week beginning the 2nd of February. It's pushed down a little lower than that a couple of times, but is bounded back up as we saw it do on this last 2-day candle. And we see it sitting right now on the half-day candles right there on that potential level of support. It's hit it a few times, and again, looking to see if it's going to indeed push through and cave again, or if Bitcoin is trying its best to find a level it can hold on to and move up from there. I'm sort of doubtful it's going to do that. Down strong today, 2.71%, but we will keep an eye on it. We got a doji right there last week, and of course, as we look at this week, it's hard to even see anything on the chart. If I zoom in, you can see that in actuality, well, it depends on how much you stretch the chart out. A green spinning top last week, a doji this week. Again, you can see how weak the volume has been on the prior 2 weeks. We had nice volume with, again, things really piercing low, and then the week after trying the same low again, and then, of course, moving up last week. So we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin. It is hovering around that same area, and we will continue to watch it and let the charts tell us what to do. Right now, it's just sort of hanging out there. It's either going to continue to slide sideways or more likely pop up or pop down. Put a gun to my head, with all things being equal, charts tend to move in the direction of the prior movement, and it may very well revert and push even lower. We'll wait, we'll watch, we'll see. That's where we are, my friends, as we end Monday and go into Tuesday, the 14th of July. God bless all the best. Hope you're having a great summer. From the whole team at Charting Wealth.